Okay, so thanks everyone for joining us today. My name is Ramiz. I'm a digital marketing manager at Enterprise Analytics. And for those of you who don't know, Enterprise Analytics is a services and channel partner service and channel partner for IFS. And as of last week, we are a gold services partner, and something we're quite proud of. We are also a two-time IFS Services Partner of the Year award winner and two-time IFS Innovative Partner runner-up. We have operations. We have offices in Melbourne, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, the Middle East, UK, and North America. We handle customers across the globe, projects running from IFS cloud upgrades to integrations, from niche subjects as ISO 20022 standard payment standard enablement to IFS cloud upgrades. And as many of you are aware, today we're here to discuss IFS WADACO, how we can power up your warehouse operations and increase efficiency and productivity at your warehouses. So with me today is Dulip Perera, who will be leading the presentation. He's a 10-year veteran of the ERP industry and a supply chain specialist. He has contributed or spearheaded projects around the world for customers across a myriad of industries. I'll just hand it off to him right now. Just a little bit of information. So just let you guys know, there's a Q&A which should be somewhere up here. Please drop your questions in that or in the chat box if you can't find it, and we will answer those questions at the end of the presentation. Please feel free to ask anything you want. We will definitely get to it at the end. I will ask those questions. If there's anything further beyond, if there's something which we can't answer, of course, we'll get back to you via email after the conclusion of the webinar. So I'll hand off to Dulip at the moment. Dulip, over to you.
Thanks, Ramesh. So greetings for the day, ladies and gentlemen. So I welcome you all to this evergreen webinar series. So today we are going to talk about how you can power up your warehouse operations using IFS WADACO. So before that, I'll give you a brief introduction of myself. I'm Dulip Perera, supply chain consultant at Enterprise Analytics, and I have a experience of 10 years in the ERP industry, and out of that 6 years being in IFS. So let's move on with the lineup for today. So today, the lineup would be to have a brief discussion about IFS WADACO and how IFS WADACO is going to help you in the digitalization process of your warehouse. And then we will be discussing about few customer success stories as well. So moving ahead. So what are these numbers to you? This 80%, $60, and 20%. Well, this 80% is the process deviations due to human errors, meaning in the warehouse, your process deviations that has happened due to human errors, meaning your warehouse users doing errors while doing your warehouse operations manually. And this $60 is the average cost to fix each wrong picking error. And this 20% is the amount used from the operational budget to fix and address the human errors. So meaning when you are doing your warehouse operations, you would incur these costs when you have a very non-digitalized environment like you used to do in the old age. Now, with the digitalization, the buzzword digitalization, most of you might be already in the bandwagon of digitalization, where you're getting your operations digitalized in warehouse operations, your manufacturing and your other supply chain areas and your finance and everything. And some might just still thinking about getting your starting your digitalization journey. So so this presentation is basically on the digitalization of your warehouse operation. So what are the values we can get through digitalization for our warehouse? Well, Through digitalization, we can get our employees to be much more productive and reduce the operational cost. Reduction of the cost due to errors, which would be happening due to the manual reporting. So, which means, let's imagine now you have the IFS application and you do your transactions in your warehouse. So, which each and every one, your warehouse user or the picker is given an each and every task based on the IFS application task that you have to do. So, let's say you have to pick a custom order. So, the warehouse picker would go to the computer and log into the IFS application and would navigate to the particular window and see what is the custom order that he has to pick and what is the, and he would print out the pick list and he would go to uh, the relevant picking bins and he would pick the required material and then come to the machine again, computer again, and would report the picking. So that is the normal procedure of reporting data. And some of you might be having a separate set of data entries for that, where they would print out the pick list to the picker, and picker would mark it in the pick list and then hand it over to the particular data entry operator, and the data entry operator might uh, update it in your IFS application or your warehouse management application. So, what are the drawbacks in this system? Well, in this, there is a high chance for human errors because there are two people who are involved in doing this particular transaction, and there is a latency of data as well. So, meaning you first do your trans of goods, and then only you will be recording it in your system. So, in that way, there is a lead time in representing the real-time data movement in the system, meaning you would have obsolete data in your system, which means when you're going to take a decision about your warehouse inventory, you would not have the current up-to-date data, where you would might have some T minus data where with the lead time of recording that information. So that would give you a lot of problems. So it would give you a lot of problems in your inventory control, and you might have a lot of obsolete stock in your warehouse as well. And uh, the traceability and accuracy is also a problem with the normal process of doing your warehouse operation. So for that, we can, to eliminate all of these issues, we can digitalize your warehouse operation by using IFS very own warehouse data collection method, which is called WADACO, to improve the efficiency and do real-time reporting. Thereby, you can improve your operational efficiency, meaning you can improve your quality and reduce time and cost. And this would really impact your bottom line, where we would achieve your profits. So I'll discuss about the Wadaco application. So IFS Wadaco application is the IFS solution for digitalizing your warehouse operation. So it has a simple and robust interface, and it has a set of clients which can be installed in your handheld devices. So you can use it in the application. Can use it in the flow very easily. So I'll discuss about these clients in the upcoming slides, and it has this very unique feature where this can be easily configured to the customer's requirement. So it's easy to configure and it's quick to implement. And it has includes a library of your transactions and support multiple clients. So uh, moving on to the first topic, which is it's robust design and zero training required. So over here, there is if you could see closely, there is a screen recording that I have done using this Wadaco Scanit application on my mobile device, where the warehouse user is going to do a warehouse movement, a part movement from one location to the other. So in this, you can see that it's a very guided kind of an approach, which with a simpler user interface than the IFS cloud application or the IFS application. So over here, it gives step-by-step instruction to the user, requesting the user's input of for to proceed with the process. Meaning, it has mapped your business process into this application where it would guide the user through the step-by-step approach. Meaning, uh, user does not need much of a training. So from the day one itself, user can start use this uh, without any training. So meaning the user only need to know about which process to be used at the correct point. So when you when I talk comparing this with this traditional IFS application, uh, where the user has to be have a good understanding about the IFS application and the how to navigate through the IFS application and how the action should be done. So over here, it's a very easy task where the user has to just give the input via the either through the keyboard or by scanning the barcode or using the list of figures, list of values. So the special interesting part is this barcode. Now let's say you have barcoded all your inventory parts in your inventory and even your warehouse locations as well. So uh, the user can easily point the application, the handheld device, into this barcode and read that information and decode that and get this updated into the system. So the human error in entering data has been eliminated completely. Where we can use these barcodes and the list of values. I mean the LOVs to select the data. So in this example, you can see that the user is selecting the serial number using the list of values. So instead of that, we can configure it to be to get the input from the barcode itself. So when you take when in most of your operations, you might be having the serial number printed as a barcode, and you can get it scanned through one of your barcode readers. So it can be easily done. The other best part of it here is that we can have on the point of barcodes, we can have concatenated barcodes, meaning we can have a barcode which would represent a set of data set, meaning in a example of in inventory part, we can have the inventory part, the lot batch number and the serial number all concatenated into one barcode. So when we in a process, when we scan that particular barcode, it would say this particular item is from this particular lot and from this particular serial number. So that kind of information can be concatenated into the barcodes, and we can use this WADACO application and the Scanit WADACO framework with the IFS Scanit app to decode this barcode and get these information into various parts of the application and to complete these operations. And the other part, the best part, the other part we have with this application is that uh, imagine in the middle of the warehouse task, the user has to stop this particular activity and has to move it with other activity. So the user would drop this and he would engage in the other activity and he would come back to continue with this particular activity. So with this application, the user has the ability to start from where he stopped the particular move or the transfer of or the let's say the task, so that it's tied to the user login and the session, so that the user can easily continue with the task where he left off. So imagine in a situation where this industry rugged handheld device was dropped by this user and it's suddenly stopped working, or the battery runs out and the user needs to charge this device, and user needs to complete this the task that he is doing and the task is at hand. So what he can do is he can go and grab a new device and log in with his login credentials, and voila, the user will be able to continue with his session where he left off with the old device and continue with the process. So that feature and that ability is there with the IFS Wadako. And uh, moving on to the next. So this Wadako is easy to implement, and it is being designed in a such a way where it can be configured very easily. Meaning, uh, can you referring to the previous example where I took the steps of making an inventory transfer, an item transfer from one location to the other, you might have noticed that there were few data points that the user has to enter, and with that, the process was carried forward. So we can configure those steps as per your requirement, as in like as per the customer's business process, where with my experience, I have noted that most of the customers have their when we are taking a process of like moving inventory, they would first go to the particular location and they would pick the part that they need to move. So first, what they would take into the hand would be the part. So we can first have enable the scanning of the inventory part, and then scan the location number first where you took the part, and then they would be moving to the next location where they are going to drop this particular part, and they can move, and then they can scan the part where they are going to drop it off, and then they can drop the particular part. So to represent that flow, we can design the entire interface into that kind of a represent that business flow. So that can be easily configured with this the Wadako, and it can be easily done, and the time to do that would be very minimal. And currently, IFS have 64 standard processors available for you to be enabled and work on. So these standard processors are designed per the industry standards, and each and every these processors would have their own way of working. So, for example, it includes all the registering purchase order arrival process, the movement of inventory through transport tasks, counting inventory, and delivering of custom orders, and even processing shipments and as well, including handling units as well. So that's those are the processes available out of the box. Uh, so next, uh, the this particular this Wadako application is coming as a is available in all the app stores, including iOS, Android, and Windows application. And that application is called the Scanit app, and that is connected to IFS seamlessly. And with the IFS cloud, it's very easy to connect. We just need to only to enter the URL of the instance, and then the user can log in using the credentials. So the right hand picture of the screenshot is the screenshot that was taken out of the iOS device, and the left hand screenshot is the screenshot from the Arena native application, meaning this is how it would be presented in the IFS cloud. So you can use your tablet or the computer. You can log into IFS cloud and use the Wadako application from there as well. So let's say you have connected a barcode scan into your laptop, and you can use that barcode scanner and the IFS cloud application to you work on this Wadaco application. And even in for Windows as well, there is a Scanit application available in the Windows App Store, and you can install that as well. So you have a very seamless experience when using this application across multiple devices. And mind you not, it is really easy to use this application in the industry standard rugged devices, which can be used in the lift machines and those handheld devices which will be used by the warehouse pickers and those app, uh, devices which are fixed on kiosks where the sorting and those kind of things would be happening in. So that can so you can this Scanit app application can be installed in any of these devices, and you can harness the power of IFS Wadaco using that. So before moving to the next segment, let me wrap up what we discussed thus far. So we discussed uh, what are the why we need to digitalize our warehouse operations, what are the issues that we face with the normal uh, operations in our warehouse, and how digitalization can address these issues using IFS Wadaco, how we can improve our operational efficiencies and how it can be addressed, and how this IFS Wadaco can be used in the used in your day-to-day operations. So next, I would be discussing about the success stories that we had with our clients. So in these projects, I worked as the consultant, and so the in the first customer story would be from the industry of technology, where this particular customer is in the providing technological devices for the fleet management. And the size of the warehouse operation would be like they have one central warehouse and they have multiple mobile warehouses in each country that they operate in. So currently they have 25 plus users in the warehouse application who are using the warehouse um, function in IFS. And the problem that they had was but their business operation, the nature of their business, uh, they wanted to do movement of inventory from their central warehouse to the mobile warehouses. So for that, they use this standard system defined process where the transport task will be creating based on the demands of the mobile warehouse, and it would automatically create reserve the serial numbers of for the movements that needs to be done. But in their operation, sorting out through those serial numbers and those kind of system defined numbers would be really difficult for them with the nature of those their products and the size of their operation. So what they would do would be to get the particular item from the transport task, and they would pick those items from their warehouse, and then they would be moving into their mobile warehouse. So for that, uh, let's say if the particular part that they in the part that they pick the serial number is not matching with the particular transport task, they would have to uh, swap those serial numbers with the transport task that were the created. So they would have to do this manually, and this would require a lot of time for them, making their actual admin work much more harder, and which would take much more time, and there would be a lot of mishaps happening due to this human intervention and the lack of, I mean, the lead time in getting these data updated. So what The solution that we proposed and implemented was a Wadaco solution where we implemented a pick by choice kind of a functionality where these all these things would be automated using this Wadaco process where the user just has to select the transport task that they're going to execute, and then they have to select what part they are going to use to be transported, and then they have to enter only the serial number and then execute. And then the system would go and search for the particular serial number, and they would do the replacement and everything by and the backend by the system itself. And then uh, the execute part and the update of the other transport task would happen smoothly. So this reduced a lot of their workload and administrative tasks that they had to do to get this task completed. And this freed up their time so that they could focus on their business end rather than worrying about these administrative tasks that would hinder their uh, warehouse operation. So now they have been using this particular solution for like 6 months very smoothly. Currently, they didn't have any issues after the implementation, and they are very much happy about this and the how the end result turned out. And the users are embracing this new change, and they like to use this application, the Scanit application. So next story is from the manufacturing industry who is specifically specialized in these water projects. Uh, they have a central warehouse and they have mobile warehouses as well. So they have 50 plus users in the warehouse operation. So the problem they had was they need to automate their register arrival process and the quality checking and the custom order delivery processes. So our solution was to provide them the tailor-made Wadaco solution so that it would represent their business process in the Wadaco application, and it would smooth out and streamline their process where they would be easily getting these done very easily. So with the implementation, the time that they uh, incurred in registering their purchase order arrivals with registering all those thousands of serial numbers into the system and the delivery of those serial numbers into the customer was drastically reduced, where they just had to scan the barcode and get the serial number into the system. So it was a very successful implementation, and the customer says that time the time that they saved were really advantages for them in meeting their customer delivery deadlines, because they sometimes they used to hold up customer deliveries on to make sure that these particular serial numbers are being updated properly so that they could do the delivery without any issues. So they had they sometimes they say they were holding up deliveries like 2 to 3 days to get this properly done. But with the implementation of Wadaco, it's just a matter of hours where they scanning the serial numbers of all the parts that they are going to deliver. So uh, that's been one. And the other customer success story was from the construction industry, where they had where they had few central warehouses located in regionally, and their project sites, warehouses, where they had like 100 plus users. What they wanted to do was to automate transport tasks to move their goods between warehouses. So from the central warehouse to the project site warehouse. So we tailor-made their Wadaku solution to meet their organizational goals and to suit their business processes, which would give them the upper hand of doing their business activities, where they only had to focus on their business process where they did not need to focus much more on the administrative tasks of the warehouse operation. So this gave them the ability to respond faster for their demands, and they were able to procure much more faster by identifying their demands much more easily. So so it was a very success story as well. So like I said, when you analyze about these customer stories, what Wadako can do is only limited to your imagination. So your only limitation is your imagination. So whatever you imagine that you need to get done can be implemented using Wadako. So uh, so before I wrap up, if you would like to have a more personalized demonstration on Wadako, please feel free to contact us, contact myself or our company, so that we can have a one-on-one call and give you have a good discussion on Wadako and give you a personalized demonstration on Wadako, and you can evaluate if it is gonna level up your warehouse operation game, and there would thereby giving you much more visibility onto your inventory and improve your operational costs. So next up would be the Q&A session. So Ramis, the stage is up to you for to moderate the Q&A session.
Thanks, Dulip. That was quite informative. We really appreciate your time on this. So we do actually have a few questions. Please feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A or the chat box. I'll ask these questions as in the order in which they came in. So the first question is from Girish. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Is the barcode scan function inbuilt with camera or separate barcode scanner required? I think this is referring to the a mobile application. Is the barcode function inbuilt with camera or separate barcode scanner required?
Well, Girish, barcode scanning that can be now let's take the industry standard warehouse devices that have been like used for scanning barcodes. So if that device has a barcode scanner and it has the ability to run the scanning tab, yes, it can use that barcode scanner to scan the barcodes. And now, if you take your mobile phone, for example, uh, you can install the scan tab and use this camera to scan the barcode where the system itself, I mean, mobile device itself has the ability to scan barcodes. Sorry. So that can be done. And now in the case of a laptop or a desktop, it would not have the ability to scan barcode. So you can plug a plug and play barcode scanner and use that to scan the barcodes. I hope I answered your question, Girish.
Thanks, Dulip. So next question is from Ian. Hello, so just want to understand whether this WADACO tool, the data absorbed from scanning or updating, will data update in real time in the ERP? So basically, will the data in the WADACO tool update in the ERP in real time is the first question. The second question is who can verify the data is correct, as human errors can appear anyway. Okay.
Well, to answer that, yes, the update would happen real time. The transactions would be happening real time. And so this, like talking about the human errors, this particular Wadako solution is designed to minimize the human errors, meaning, no, let's say if the picker scanned a wrong barcode, that would obviously would be a human error. But there is uh, special a transaction library, meaning a transaction log for each and every transaction done by each and every user, where for each and every data point, what is the data point that was captured would be recorded in the system, so that you can always go and look into that particular log and identify what was the error that has happened. So that is there. So I hope it provided you quite the answer.
Thanks, Dulip. So the last question is from Mick. How well does it work with traditional Zebra printers, as there will be requirement to reprint labels and change quantity when picking parts?
Well, yes, this WADACO application can be integrated with the Zebra printers as well. So whenever, I believe you are referring to those labels that you have printed on the picking bins, where we would have the latest quantity and the content of the bin. So whenever you, so we can get that integrated into the system as well. Where so once this particular WADACO session is being completed, as in like the transaction is being completed, we can set the system to print a new barcode, not a barcode, a label, where it would you could easily paste it into your bin or into the particular handling unit. That can be integrated and that can be done. In fact, we have done that as well with one of our clients.
So we just got another question in from Arunalau. Sorry, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. Arunalu.
Arunalu.
Uh, Thanks, Alip. So in Wadako, let's assume customer wants to perform register arrival for normal parts, not serial tracked, and serial parts. In this scenario, do we need to have two configurations, one for each scenario, or can we perform the norm perform the both normal part and serial part arrival through same register arrival data collection configuration?
Yes, Arnold. So we can have in the system we can configure that so that in a we have to configure two configurations, but we can have that configuration one config. I mean, set up a process where it would be branching out based on a condition. If the part is a serial part, then it will be moving to this particular branch, and if it is a non-serial part, it would be moving to the other branch. So for the user, it would be only one WADACO process, but from the backend, there would be two processors doing the same, doing the two business ends, the processors. So to reiterate, there would be one process for the user where it would be register arrivals, and the user would be using the process, and there where when the point comes where the user scans the part, then based on the part configuration, if it is a serial part, then from the backend it will route to the configuration where it was done for the serial part configuration. If it is a non-serial part, then it will route through the non-serial part configuration. I hope it's clear. If not, just ping me in. I will have a discussion on that.
Hey, we're getting quite a few questions coming to them. Glad to see that. Another one from Miran. Is there a way to bulk export Wadako configurations for a given process in IFS Cloud?
Uh, if you're talking about importing and exporting on WADACO configurations, uh, bulk export, I'm not quite sure on that. If you can get that bulk export, but we can export all the configurations and import all the configurations from one environment to the other. Mm, I hope it answered the question.
Sure. So are there any more questions out there? If it's easier, you guys can raise your hands. I can unmute you to ask the questions. If that'll make things easier. All right. Is everyone happy with what they've learned today? Anything further to be clarified? Anything you want to ask? Feel free to ask them now. Sorry, Preetish, I saw your hand go up. Is there? No? Okay. So let's. Yeah, Miwa, 1 second.
Hi. A bit of a clarification on my question regarding the bulk export. So my question was I know that we can export configurations for a given process one by one. And import into another environment. So my question was like, let's say if there are like 5 configurations for a given process, like can we export them at once and import to the other environment? I know this feature was not there in the previous versions of IFS. So just wanted to know whether it's available in IFS Cloud. Rather than like, of course, there is a way you can do it through a data migration, but I was asking whether there is a way to do it through the client.
It's Lakshika here. So in the cloud doors, so Mevan, I don't think that feature is available as far as I know. So we have to stick with the way that how we are using it in other application versions.
Okay. So basically, you have to do it one by one, or just do a data migration from backend.
One by one, or go for a database. Yeah, database related. Either take a script or use the data migration for that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Lakshika. And for those of you who don't know, this is Lakshika, our group manager for solutions at Enterprise Analytics. Thanks for that assist there, Lakshika. Are there any more questions? Let's hold on for a bit. If anyone has anything to ask, please feel free to raise your hands and unmute you. Make it easier. Okay, so that brings us to the. All right. So that brings us to the end of today's session. I'll just drop my email address and the chat box. So if anyone wants to reach out to us regarding anything to discuss today, or even just to see a demonstration or demo about IFS WADACO or any other solution we offer, please feel free to reach out to us at any point. Thanks everyone for joining us today. And there's a recording available, which you should get once everyone logs off, and you should get an email with the recording, so you guys can go through everything as discussed today again at your leisure. Thanks everyone. Thank you for joining. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.